Hello, and welcome to our dining room. We may be in the dining room, but this is a video all about the garden.
What?
Lauren,
What?
we're doing the video now.
We're filming?
Yes.
But I'm busy picking seeds for our garden.
Yeah, but today we're gonna share our tips and tricks for ordering your seeds.
It's not a secret?
No? What?
All right.
Why would it be a secret?
Step 1, get a sweet
Lauren,
catalog.
As always, we have to pause for the intro. Okay, Lauren, go ahead.
Step 1, get a sweet catalog.
We get this one.
Territorial Seed Company. We have 2 recommendations though. We also like Johnny's.
We do?
But Territorial Seed Company is an Oregon company and we're in Oregon, so we support them.
This is what we grew up with. It's always a super fun day when in, January in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
The seed catalog
They
comes.
also have some really cool, unique products. You can get real wasabi roots, not just horseradish. You can get loofah squashes to make your own loofah sponges. You can get oak trees inoculated with truffles, with rare European truffles. So in 20 years, you could have your own truffles.
Yeah.
Plan ahead, folks.
What we're saying is pretty cool products in a pretty cool catalog.
Yeah.
And they're not sponsoring us.
They're not, but
We don't have any sponsors. But we love them.
They do non-GMO stuff. They're very transparent about what's open pollinating and what's not. That means what you can save seeds from yourself. They're a great company, and so anyways, that's our
We do recommend the Territorial Seed catalog.
They're a lot of fun.
And today we're going to share with you our process for picking seeds and ordering from Territorial.
So April,
Yes.
we go through and pick all the pictures of what we like and we buy those.
Not totally, but kind of.
All right, so it is really fun to look at the photos.
Here, I'll
and that's
I'll get a little.
That's exciting. That's great. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But there are a few things that you should consider, like where you live, how long your growing season is, how soon it gets hot in the summer, how much room you have to start your own seeds, or whether you need to buy plants. Territorial has both.
How long it stays hot in the summer, how soon it starts raining in the fall.
Yep. What your soil's like, whether you have a really big gardening space or a small gardening space.
Is your soil sandy? Is it more clay?
And if you're new at gardening, you don't have to know all of this stuff, but we'll give you a few pointers for what to read for in a catalog. If you hear slurping in the background, it's because Agnes
has a great thirst.
She's drinking a lot of water. Oh, she's
actually just licking her bowl now.
She's on some probiotics and really likes how they
delicious.
taste.
Anyway, so here is what the catalog looks like from our point of view. We have already gotten to E in the catalog because we were really impatient. And so
we've been circling things that we like.
Yeah, so what we do is we go through section by section, think about if we want that plant, and then which one would be best for us.
So I want to show our viewers something. Zoom into this one. So the first thing that you see, so first it has some symbols, OP for open pollinating, so that's great. This is a heirloom crop, but look at this, 80 to 90 days. That's from the date that you transplant it into the soil. So you take a plant that you started.
Hang on a second.
Our
Agnes
dog is being
very
loud.
Very loud. Can I help you? Go play with something quiet.
All right, so this says 80 to 90 days.
Yes.
Now that's fine. We could probably grow this, but Oregon does have fairly short seasons. So you look at this eggplant, another eggplant. This is only 45 days.
Woo!
Now, they're much smaller plants, 2 to 3 inch long egg-shaped fruit.
Cute.
And the plant is no taller than 24 inches. So this is great also for patios. I mean, it's named Patio Baby. But if you lived in an apartment and wanted to grow one eggplant plant.
As it says, pot growing.
Yep. So that's something to look at.
I believe if you need a guide to the symbols, they're all in the beginning or the end or something, so you know what they all mean.
Yeah. So that's the first thing to pay attention to. Do we want a long season or a short season? Sometimes, April.
Yes.
Sometimes we want both. Why is that?
Well, you might really love eggplant and want eggplant all season long, so you would want one that matures early and one that matures late, so that when the season of the one that matures early is over, you're just starting the season of the next one, or they overlap, halfway.
Yeah. So for corn, we're growing 4 different varieties.
Yeah.
We're growing early,
we did a
mid,
pack.
late season, plus a popcorn.
Yes.
Now, April, what if there's something that you want to grow that you don't know much about, like shallot seeds? I've never grown shallots before.
And yet we chose one.
How did we do it?
Well, for one thing, we paid attention to the section intro.
Yeah, get your other camera in here.
Okay, fine. Agnes
is right down there.
She's just here. Hi. I know you want that, but we're filming. We're filming. You can't have it. Can't have it. Okay.
So what we're going to look for is there's 2 different things you can buy with shallots. You could buy seed or you can buy bulbs. Now, for this one, it's saying see onion culture on page 64. That means that most of the directions are going to be with the onions, but it does give us some basic things like the soil germination temperature, the seed spacing, how many seeds per half gram. That's really important to know how many seeds to get. Do we need half a gram, which is around 100 seeds?
Agnes?
All right. So it shows you how to do direct sowing for shallot bulbs.
Stop it.
When to harvest them, how much yield you can expect. There's also this that says shallot bulbs are shipped only in the fall.
You should say that again.
Shallot. Our second camera filled with data. You need a micro SD card. I think I have a spare one.
Now you tell me.
So read the green notes, because this tells us we can't actually do shallot bulbs because we've missed the window. So we're gonna have to start them by seed.
Oh, bulbs, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Which we paid attention to. That's why we chose this one, which is a seed. It's the Davidor.
Yeah.
And it says that it's reliably productive, early maturing, and particularly well suited for our Pacific Northwest growing conditions. That's where we live.
Yes.
So,
which is why sometimes there's things that are harder to grow here.
oh yeah.
Sweet potatoes are tough. They take a really long time to grow. They like warm, sandy soil.
Yeah.
We have clay.
Melons.
Our soil takes a long time to warm up.
Yep.
And we have kind of a short growing season.
We have a lot of rain.
Now, in the Willamette Valley, we're a little bit sheltered here, so certainly we can grow lots of things, especially if we transplant early, if we protect the roots, if we warm up the soil.
Yeah.
Now, some things like lettuce, all of it's going to have a fairly short growing season. All of it's going to fit well in our locale. The only thing we might want to pay attention to are things that say slow to bolt are going to be better in hot weather. So we might be planting those a little later, a little closer to June and July.
It's really nice to choose lettuces that you can stagger so that you have lettuce all through the season, because a lot of them bolt early and then you just have a few months, spring to early summer of lettuce, when you really want to be making salads and things all through the
Yeah.
summertime. So
Some things are really foolproof. Beets, we could choose literally any beet that we want, and it's
I
going to
would
grow
say
fine.
green beans are also pretty easy.
Yeah, now
choose
for
most
green
green
beans,
beans.
here's something to think
yes.
about. Both staggering, if you want to grow them all, you might want a later one and an earlier one, but then also, what's your growing? My timer went off for my bread. I thought we'd be done by now.
We're both hooked up. You do it.
Can you keep talking about green beans?
Oh, I don't know what I'm.
Versus bushes.
Oh yes. So
This is gonna be a quality video.
super great video. So when it comes to beans, your big categories are bush beans, you know, in a bush, or pole beans on a pole, you know, or like this often. Anyway, to figure out what you have the space for, if you can build something upwards, that might be a great way to get a lot of beans because you're using that vertical space. But maybe your space is better for bushes lower to the ground. You know, they can be smaller. Oh, and then consider like what you want to do with your beans. If you want a really big or long bean, if you want smaller beans, if you want beans to freeze that will hold up well, or if you want beans that are very sweet and tender, just for snacking on fresh. I really like to have that. So we chose a couple different ones. I suppose I could look at what we chose. Oh, or also if you want beans for drying, dry beans, that's a totally different ball game, and you know, good luck. Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, you squished her. She's fine. So we chose, oh yeah, this is great because we asked people what vegetables they requested that we grow. We didn't get a lot of responses, but Pa said we needed to grow some really long beans. There's a whole category called yard long. I'm sorry to say they don't all grow to be a yard long, but they tend to be at least a foot long.
18 inches.
Usually more, 18 inches. We chose the red noodle. That's what they look like. So
Can they even see that?
yeah,
Who knows?
it's pretty close.
All right.
As long as it's filming still.
Tomatoes.
So you know.
Let's talk tomatoes.
Oh, okay. We haven't even chosen them. Oh,
There are hundreds of
Open
kinds
right
of
up.
tomatoes. Now, the thing to think about
one
with
of those
tomatoes
categories.
is that there's 4 main kinds. There's miniature tomatoes,
Grape or
pear, or cherry.
cherry. Yes.
So there's subcategories.
Right.
There's paste tomatoes. Mostly those are Romas.
There's the ones that are like this shape.
Oh, I forgot that there's also currant sized tomatoes, which are really, really tiny.
Oh, tiny.
Yeah.
And then
there's beefsteak tomatoes, like slicing,
Really
like
big, yeah.
a really big slicing. And then there's what are they called? Are they just called a plum tomato? There's just a
that
smaller
classic small
slicer
round tomato.
Yeah.
You might have that on a sandwich or something.
So I like a mix. April's allergic to tomatoes, so I don't grow too many tomatoes for fresh eating.
too bad.
I usually do one kind of cherry tomato and then one kind of slicer or
Slicing.
beefsteak for, hamburgers
Last year
and
we
stuff.
grew a Roma and a slicer and a
Yeah.
cherry.
And
'Cause
then-
that's what we could get late in the year.
Yeah, and then I also like to do a lot of Romas and stuff for sauce. I haven't done that many in the past, but now we have a place to store canned goods.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And then the other thing is there's a lot of heirloom tomatoes out there that are super great. Those are the ones that are super expensive at the grocery store. They're really flavorful. They're really juicy.
Really lovely to grow
They
fresh
don't
on your own.
keep super long on the shelf.
Yeah. But they're great
But
to
they're
eat
incredible
fresh
for
in
salads.
salad or just plain
Just
or on
like an
toast
apple.
or something. Yeah, they're really good.
So that's
If I could
something
eat
that
them.
can be a lot of fun. With those, it is important to pay attention to the growing season because sometimes it's a longer growing season. Not always. There's early ones. This one is 60 to 65 days, whereas this one is 85 days. So this one's 95 days. It's called Mortgage Lifter. As the story goes, a tomato farmer facing bankruptcy selected a tomato that produced so well he was able to sell the plants and pay off the mortgage.
Wow.
So there you go.
Probably not doable today.
It literally
The other
says
thing
that.
we should say about tomatoes is you might not even be buying tomato seeds from a catalog. I feel like most gardeners
Just go to the store.
just get starts from the store or the nursery.
That's fine.
Which it can be hard to start tomatoes from seed and transplant them. So most of the time in the past we have just bought in the starts.
You can buy starts
you-
at Territorial.
Yes, they do send starts and bulbs and things like that too. So
You just have to order them in time.
Yes.
Early.
yes. I thought we should also talk about carrots because we had an interesting choosing process for that due to the type of soil that we have.
Oh, yes.
Would you like to go into that, Lauren?
Carrots are tricky because it's not necessarily going to tell you a lot about what you need in the catalog. But if you have a little experience and you've tried to grow a long carrot in a heavy clay soil, then you've dealt with a lot of broken carrots while you tried to pull them out.
Losing half the carrot in the soil and having to dig down in.
So in that case, we learned from experience, which is really normal. Sometimes you just try something.
Yep. They do also sometimes mention soil depth and what did they... Oh, strong attachments for easy pulling, it will often say.
So what we looked for was ones with strong attachments and a shorter, stocky root.
Yes, so you can see that some carrots are rather like long and slender. So we chose, for one,
Napoli?
this one, Purple Sun, which of the purple carrots is definitely the sort of biggest and shorter. They tend to be shorter and wider.
Yeah.
You can even go with a super short carrot, like a round one, the Rondo.
They're about this long.
But they have a rounder carrot, so that could be a good option for you, or these, rather than something that's rather long and tapered. Some carrots have even kind of a rounded tip, so they don't even taper at all. They're just kind of like the same width all the way down.
Yeah.
Can be a good option.
Okay, one final thing.
Yes.
Two final things. Territorial has some garden collections, like their throw and grow garden essentials. Some garden crops perform best when direct sown into the soil, while others require more attention seeded indoors or transplanted into the garden. This collection contains direct seeded varieties that we consider fundamentals for the garden. You'll get everything from beans to spinach, carrots to melons, lettuce to squash. Includes 20 easy to grow seed varieties that will round out your summer garden, alongside your tomato and pepper transplants. There's the Territorial Victory Garden, which has 27 vegetables, 2 herbs, and 1 sunflower seed. The Perpetual Seed Collection, which has 70 open pollinated seed varieties, which means you can save seeds in the future. There's a Salsa Party collection, a container-friendly garden collection, which is great if you're in an apartment, and the No Brainer Urban Garden, which comes with a grower fabric planter and a cocoa core planting block and Wonderworm soil amendment and fertilizer.
So you buy that, you're completely
you
set
have a
to
garden.
grow your garden.
So while it's really fun to choose seeds, and that's what we choose to do, if you're new to gardening, you want to make things super easy, get one of those, give it a shot, buy yourself a present.
Choose one based on your location and what would be best for your area. The names and descriptions tend to give you a sense of which would be best. And try it. And it can be really fun. It's like a grab bag. You don't know what's in there necessarily, and it'll be a fun surprise.
We're getting a couple mixes that are like a lettuce mix and a kale mix.
We did a corn mix so that we'll keep having corn through the season. So.
And then last but not least, April.
Yes.
Flowers.
Yeah.
You don't have to grow flowers in your garden.
We like to.
But I recommend at least plant some marigolds because they help keep pests away.
Keep pests down, and they,
But the thing with all flowers is they're going to attract bees, which is good for pollination of your garden. They're often really easy to grow. There's lots of kinds of flowers you can direct sow into the soil, even in early spring, and then they come up when they come up.
Yep.
Wildflower mixes and things. And so just throw a packet of flowers in there too.
There's a whole section, flowers, they're kind of with the herbs, I guess. Those were the herbs.
Those were the herbs. Grow some herbs too.
Lavender. Well, some herbs are flowers too. Like
Yeah.
lavender, herb, and flower.
Wait,
That's a
lavender has
big bee attractor.
flowers?
Yes, they're
What?
Lauren.
I'm kidding.
Don't be dumb.
All right, this is a long
right
video.
here.
Hey, they have turmeric. I didn't know that.
just-
That must be new.
Oh, let's
Let's
grow
grow
it.
our own turmeric.
Great. We're having so much
Lemongrass.
fun.
They have lemongrass.
See, this is what happens when we end
Territorial
up spending
always has-
$1,000 buying seeds. I would just like to say, I know probably some of you remember back to a video where we went through our seeds last spring and we had that cool, seed container. It's blue and Lauren made it and it was pretty. And you're saying, why aren't you using the seeds that you already have? Isn't that a waste? Don't you always say, waste not, want not, etc., etc.? Well,
After that video, we left that out in the rain.
yeah. So those seeds are most likely all ruined.
We're still gonna try them.
We could try, yeah, we'll have a little lottery section of the garden and just throw a bunch of those seeds in.
Sometimes I do that. I mix all my lettuces and kales and spinaches
yeah,
and
just see what
radishes, and I
happens.
just strew them around.
Yeah. We like to have fun. Anyway, the thing is, if seeds even get a little bit damp, they might look okay and dry after that, but if they get damp
And they
then
start to
dry,
sprout.
they'll start to sprout and then they die and then they're no good.
April,
And there might not be any visual evidence of
we
that.
should do a windowsill garden of things you can sprout from your pantry.
Oh, fun, because we already did the garlic.
Do you want us to do a sprouting video?
Sprout from your food.
If you
food sprouts.
do,
Comment below.
like
Tell us.
and subscribe so you see it when we do it.
Yeah.
All right, so Territorial Seed Company, again, not a sponsor, just a really good company that we like a
Had
lot.
great experiences.
They send you a
and
free catalog if
the other
you sign
thing
up
is-
on their website.
Yes,
They
it's
never
free.
stop sending you that catalog, so maybe if you put in your parents' address, your parents
it's
will get
just-
annoyed.
It's just one catalog. Is it 2 catalogs a year?
You get a
Spring
one
and
and then a fall
fall.
winter one.
Yeah.
For fall winter crops.
Yeah, so the spring one comes in January because that's when you want to be buying your spring seeds to start early. And then, yeah, you get one later. So it's really, they don't send you a bunch of other stuff. Don't worry about it. Just the catalogs. They're super great to look through and they're very recyclable when you're done.
Yep. All
But
brown
I
paper.
keep
no
every
staples.
single one for posterity. No, I've never kept a catalog.
Actually, they
catalog.
did a thing a few years ago where they showed covers from catalogs like 50 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool. Okay, this video
Oh,
is now half an hour
Just
long.
the other thing, don't worry, I'll edit it down. The one other thing is, I think there might be, is there an order form?
Yeah, you can order the old-fashioned way
Yeah.
with, there used to be. I think there still is. I think I saw, here
there
we
it
go.
is. So you can use this order form and mail it in, or just go online.
Territorialseedcompany.com.
Just Google Territorial
I don't know
Seed
what
Company. I don't know what the website is.
Hey,
but
they
you
have
can
an
do that.
Instagram.
Oh, order now at territorialseed.com.
Okay.
And follow them on Instagram. I'm going to do that. So you can just order them online so you don't have to mail the thing in. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's the end of our tips and tricks for ordering your seeds.
Yeah. And you know what, April?
Yes.
Gardens are forgiving. So if you
That's
don't
true.
choose the right variety of beans or tomatoes
Yeah.
or peppers, if you mess up your transplants, if you end up having to direct seed your tomato plants into your garden, chances are
You'll get something.
you'll get something.
And you'll learn something too.
Yeah.
And going through the next time, you'll be going in with more experience and you'll be really successful. Lauren, cheers.
Cheers. Got our coffee,
Vegetables.
water.
Thematic.
All right.
Good luck with your seeds and
Let us know what you get for your garden.
Yeah, we're so excited.
And it's still, we haven't ordered yet. So
No.
this week,
yes, if you comment on this video telling us to get something, we will get it.
100% guarantee.
I promise.
If it's
And you know we keep our promises.
okay, listen. If they ask us to get a $60 oak start that's
Okay, no.
inoculated
We-
with truffles,
We're
won't
not
buy
going to
that.
get that. I'm sorry. We have a budget, but pretty
Yeah.
much anything else we will get. So just tell us.
We have a big
Do
garden budget this year because we're doing a no-spend January and February
Yeah, so all
challenge.
that money is going to seeds. And also, we're growing so much this year that we're going to be selling produce.
Yeah,
Because we have a huge garden now, and we're pumped about it.
we're pumped. That's how you pronounce that. Pumped.
Pumped.
pumpkin.
Yes. So anyway, Agnes is sad and wants us to come play with her, so we're gonna go now. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.